I feel this topic is necessary because there is a push for experimentation. These topics have been in popular culture for decades. However, now I feel like with the fluidity of gender and sexuality, it is more acceptable to be in a relationship with someone of the same sex. I am in love with my boyfriend and I said, "You know what? I want to do an episode today about love." And specifically, how to date someone of the same sex in 2025. And if you are navigating that for the first time, if you are a young gay person, a young queer person, and you are pursuing or wanting to pursue a relationship of the same sex, I wanted to break down what you can expect and how you can engage in a successful relationship. This episode will be about personal experience. I have been in a few long-term same-sex relationships, my most current being with my boyfriend of 2 years, who I love and adore. And in each of these relationships, I have learned something different that I am going to specify on this episode. So if you find any of this information interesting, please stick around and let's go through how to be in love with someone of the same sex together. The easiest way to do this, I'm going to say one phrase and then we're going to break it down into 3 chapters and we'll go one by one. But this one simple phrase, in order to be in a relationship with someone of the same sex, is this: you have to be willing to put yourself out there. Now, this may sound like standard cookie cutter advice, but let me explain to you what that means. You have to be bold. You are dealing with someone who has your likeness. Many times they may share your body parts, your frame of mind, your way of thinking. Oftentimes I find that opposites do attract, especially in my case. If you have more of a feminine energy, you may be attracted to someone with a more masculine energy. And that goes with people of the same sex, different sex, intersex, or non-binary. But being bold and courageous puts you on the radar. And I don't mean you need to peacock and show off, but I do mean that you have to know what you are bringing to the table. And a lot of times it's not face value. Yes, you may have a great body. Yes, you may be smart. Yes, you may have a lot of money, but being bold in your pursuit of another person. When you are wanting to court someone, it's not so much about yourself, it's what you're doing for this person. And when you are bold, you are expressing your love language to the best of your ability, communicating that with another entity. And that's what I mean about boldness. When Felix and I first started dating, I did not have much to my name. I was very poor because I just moved to this country without a job. I didn't have mastery or an understanding of the language, so there was a communication barrier. But I did have my creativity and my love of poetry and words. So I would write him poems to court him. That was my way of showing him an offering of everything that I had to give at the time. I had to give him, I gave him my world of art. In every setting and every occasion, I would make a point to bring a card in order to express what he meant to me. Now, this may be cheesy for some people. It may not work for everyone, but in my case, it's all that I had available to me, and I love the way that words fit together. I love the there's an essence that's reminiscent of a flower, something so sweet and subtle. Sometimes flowers just exist to be beautiful. And I feel that the way that you express words and language can be a field, a meadow of beauty, and offering that to a person in my opinion, is one of the most genuine gestures, especially for someone who you find truly beautiful and attractive. Be bold in your pursuit of another person. The very next thing, be generous. So these two go hand in hand. You can be bold, showing exactly who you are to the person, and be generous with who you are. And with this, I'm going to take it a step further. Being generous with all that you have. It's one thing to have the resources, but you have to be willing to give. And a lot of times people are hesitant to do that, especially at first in the beginning of the relationship, because you don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to be hurt. You don't want to be gouged for your resources, whether that's your love, your time, attention, your care, your money. No one wants to feel taken advantage of, but you have to be willing to be generous. You have to be generous. Your heart, you're giving your heart to another person. And that requires a level of selflessness. You have to be bold, understand who you are, what you have to offer, and then you have to be willing to give it to another person. So it's very important to know that the person who you are courting is worth it. And you may not know that for months down the line, but you have to believe in yourself that you are choosing what is best for you in this moment. And be honest with yourself. Take take an assessment. Is this person someone I can invest in? Are they investing in me? Can I pursue this relationship? If the answer is yes, only do so if you are willing to give sometimes more than what you receive. And that is just the truth of the matter. And that brings me to my last point about forgiveness. Unfortunately, heartbreak, mistrust, miscommunication, these things happen. And it is one of the most unsettling feelings. It is horrible to have your heart broken by someone who you have given your heart to boldly and generously. To have it ripped outside of you, crushed in a million pieces. This has happened to me a couple of times, maybe a couple more times than I am willing to admit on this episode. But in my most recent relationship, in my current relationship with Felix, my heart was broken. We were very young in our relationship. I felt like I was doing everything that I was supposed to, but we we weren't being honest with ourselves and we weren't being honest with each other. And that was hard. That was really hard to come to terms with. Sometimes the people that you love and that you give the most love to are going to hurt you in ways that only they can. It's like you reserve your heart for this person and they break it. But if you are able to mend the broken pieces together, you will be love is beautiful. Love is sometimes I can't imagine my life without it. You fall so deeply in love with a person and it feels like nothing else matters. And it's in the moments when I am away from Felix that I start seeing it's like the love that I have for him. I realize how big my heart is and it makes me want to expand it even more. I was outside today looking at a homeless couple that reside there every single day outside the supermarket, and something inside of me just wanted to just be nice to them, to acknowledge them, to treat them with something kind. And it's not because They deserve it, they don't deserve it. They're wonderful people, they're not. It just was the love that I feel and have for my partner. I wanted to give that. And that is something that love gives you, that you it's difficult to quantify it, to measure. Sometimes I see different posts, I see different takes on love and if it's worth it in modern times, in the modern day. And my answer is completely yes. There are people who have been hurt, who have not mended their broken heart, who are still hurting other people, and that's horrible. But we are all broken, and we are all, the more accepting and forgiving that you can be of how wrong some people are in a moment, the more forgiving you can be of that moment, the better the better person that you will be because of it. And I would not say that if I did not believe it. When Felix and I broke up, I did not see myself being able to love with the intensity that I had prior. But I feel like my love now is even bigger because I understand that he is a flawed person, that I am a flawed person, and that we are working together. And it's the truth that keeps me moving. This this advice for love, for same-sex couples, for who you choose to love, whether you're queer, you're gay, you're straight, you're bi, I hope that you take it and you live the life that is as open and as accepting as you want your life to be for you. Give that to another person. Give that acceptance and freedom to another person to love you boldly, generously, and with the forgiving with a forgiving heart. So I struggled with saying forgiving, but I mean it all the same. You need to forgive. It sucks when it happens, but love is forgiveness, and you have to be generous with your forgiveness. So this last step, controversial, but it will change your life. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It took on a little bit of a more somber tone. I am still coming to terms with Felix Felix being gone for a little more than a week, but I will be okay. I'm going to have a nice night, and I got a chance to chat with you, so I'm very grateful for that. We will see each other very soon on our next episode of On Being. Have a wonderful night, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd truly appreciate it.